Hey guys, we're gonna get started in about like 5 minutes. So if you guys need to go grab something really quick, like water or like a snack or something, go get it right now and then come back.
Hello everyone, welcome back for the second day of the Innovire April Break Robotics Camp. Ali has a lot of fun stuff planned for you guys today. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently and we're going to start with an icebreaker challenge.
Before we get started, we just want you guys to talk a little bit. So feel free to unmute if you want to answer the question. If you see that someone else is talking, just mute yourself and then you guys can go next. If you don't want to unmute, you guys can just put the answer directly into the chat. So today's question is, if you could have any one superpower in the entire world, what would it be and why? Please don't say something like generic. Try to come up with something unique. And let's say like your superpower is flying. Maybe come up with like a cool reason as to why you want to be able to fly. So for me, if I could have any superpower in the entire world, mine would be telekinesis because I would want to be able to control things with my mind. And I could just sit in my room and just want to think like, hey, turn off the lights. And then the lights, I could just flip the light switch off or something. So that's what I would want to do.
If
I'd
I had
probably go
any
for
superpower in the world, I would choose to be able to summon dinosaurs because, like, tame dinosaurs, I could basically just do anything with those.
I would probably go for the ability to perform at my best without sleeping, so that I wouldn't have to sleep ever.
For me, I would I want to have the ability of teleporting, so I can go anywhere at any time. So if there's an emergency, I can go to the hospital in like 1 second. And yeah.
Okay, so those were really interesting and unique. Is there anybody else who would like to share uh, a superpower that they would like to have? Okay. Um, so for those of you who shared, thanks for sharing. It was nice getting to know a little bit more about you and your personality. I think we'll get started. Ali?
Okay, hey everyone, it's Ali again. So if you guys just want to start by opening up your the Bex code thing again on your computers, and then we'll start. Um, so I'm just gonna go over a little recap of what we did yesterday. Or does anybody actually want to tell me what we did yesterday?
The last thing we did was we did that number grid.
Yeah. So what did we do in that number grid?
You have to do different colors for like
Yeah.
even numbers would be one color, odd numbers would be another color, and you would go in numerical order.
Yeah. So we used the pen function to draw lines on that number grid, and then we did alternating colors for each number. So right now I'm just going to go over some of the commands that we used yesterday, and then if anybody just wants to unmute or say something in the chat about what that command does. So for example, let's look at the first one. It just says drive forward. What do you think that means?
That command just drives the robot forward infinitely. Doesn't have any
Yeah,
limit.
infinitely. And then what about this one? Drive forward for blank amount of millimeters.
This is the one, same thing as the first one, except you
The
can edit the amount of distance it
robot
goes.
for a specified distance.
Yeah. What about this one? Turn right for 90 degrees.
It'll turn right 90 degrees.
Yeah. And then I think we just also learned about drive velocity and turn velocity, which I think everyone knows what those mean now. We also learned about the pen functions, and we also did a little bit about the loops, but we'll do more of that today. Now let's say I wanted to somehow move in reverse. What would I do to do that? Which command would I use?
You would use the drive forward for whatever, but like just change the forward to reverse.
Yeah, so you just click on the forward and you click on reverse. And it's the same thing if you want to change turning right to turning left. You click on the right and you click on left. Okay. So today we're going to start off with just a really easy challenge that we talked about yesterday at the end of the day, and I think some people actually finished it. So we're going to do the spiral drawing activity. So I think some people finished it yesterday, right? So does anybody want to show how they did it?
The spiral one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, you can just share your screen.
Give it a second, it's just loading.
Yep.
Thing with mine is it didn't turn out the exact same way that like that you showed in the challenge.
Yes. So that's okay. It could be any type of pattern that you want as long as it has something that's repeating throughout it.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain your code too?
Yeah, sure. So basically, obviously, first things I did were set the drive and turn velocity because I wanted to simulate it as fast as I could. Then after that, I thought about creating circles. That was my first thing. So the
Yep.
first repeat code that you see inside that says repeat 20, the drive forward for 100 meters, 100 millimeters, I mean. That was my first code. The first code was to get the basic and create a circle or a shape that was like similar to a circle. It's not a perfect circle, obviously. And yeah, so I kept driving forward and turning right to 90, turning right to 20 degrees to create circles. And if I repeated that command, that would create a perfect circle. And then after that, once I had the circle part down, I focused on making it so no two circles overlapped each other completely.
Yep.
So that's next. What I did was I made it a random set. Just turn right, drive forward 10 millimeters, so that a new circle would appear once it were to draw over that. And then I just kept like let that repeat for as long as I wanted to.
Okay, cool. So does anybody have any questions about what he did or how he did it? Nope. Okay. So this is what everyone is going to be working. Yeah. So this is what everyone's going to be working on right now. Let me just share my screen. Swastik, do you mind unsharing your screen? Thank you. So right now we're going to work on that. So I'm just going to show you a simple pattern that I made, but you don't have to do it like that. So it's a really, really simple pattern. It just has this tiny segment that just repeats over and over again. So here, let's see. So I first start by moving to the end of the screen and I draw this little circle head, and then it's a line segment, and then not like another circle head. And then that just repeats over and over again with different angles. But if you don't know how to draw a little circle like that, you guys can also draw like a rectangle or a square or something like that. You guys have the next 10 to 15 minutes to work on this, and then we will start our actual lesson for today. And if you're already done the challenge, can you just say so in the chat? Okay, so Swastik, I think you're the only one who's done. So for now, if you want to try making a different pattern, maybe using like rectangles or something, or you
Yeah,
can use different colors. Yeah, okay. And then does everyone else understand the challenge? Yep, okay. So yeah, you have the next 10, 15 minutes to work on this. Okay, so while everyone works on this, I'm gonna also be working on it on my screen too, just so that we can all have our own pattern. By the way, you can use either the grid map or you can use the art canvas too. I'm just gonna do mine. Oh, by the way, when you're drawing this pattern, make sure that you try to use the loop so it's not like really repetitive and there's not like a lot of code on your screen. And if you don't know how to use the loop, you can just ask me and I can help you with that. Oh yeah, and while we're working on this, you guys can keep on working. I'm just gonna show something else that you can do with this program. So in the playground mode, while you're working on stuff, if you want to change the view of your robot, you can do that. So if you see these three blocks over here, there's different like camera views of the robot. So right now we're on this view, but there's also this view where you can like see from the robot's perspective where everything else is. And then there's also this kind of top view. So it's like you're watching the robot. You can just move around and do things. But I like to use this like down view so that you can see everything that you're programming. And then once you're actually drawing stuff, you can switch to another view. And I'll just show you guys how that would look, like how the actual program would look from a different view. So I'll run my pattern from the diagonal view. You can see how it works. So this just helps you see what you would actually see with a real robot. And you can move around and stuff. So you guys have another maybe like 10 minutes and then we can move on. And then if you're done, just say that you're done in the chat. And then you can share your screen. So yeah, this is what it looks like from a kind of like a diagonal view. Okay, so how is everyone doing? Does anybody need help with anything? Okay, so okay, yeah, so you guys have another like 5-10 minutes. Kareem, do you want to share your screen so you can see what you did?
Sure. Just one sec. Mm, okay, I'm gonna share it here. I'm sharing it. Can you see?
Yeah. Okay, so you made kind of like a flower. That's really cool.
Yeah. That's how I imagine a spiral being. A bunch of those.
Like just a little petal. That's cool.
Yeah. And then
So
eventually make a spiral. Other people are done, so I'm gonna
yeah,
stop.
so why don't you keep on like let that draw on the side, and then we'll let someone else show their screen while this is
Okay.
happening. So do you want to unshare your screen?
Yep.
Arush, do you want to share your screen?
Oof, Monsieur, you got done hard.
Can you see my screen? Like,
Yeah.
it?
Yep.
Okay, one second.
So cool octagons, I think I can tell. So it's a 9-shaped polygon. I don't know what those are called. Does anybody know what a 9-shaped polygon is called?
A nonagon? A nonagon?
A nonagon. It's called a
Really?
nonagon.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's
an
a
interesting
nonagon.
name.
Nonagon.
Yeah, so you have a bunch of nonagons that are just overlapping. Okay, that's cool. Do you want to show us your code too? Okay, so I think everyone has the same type of code. The only differences are like the angles that you use and also the distance. But like it's the same format. You have the loops, you have your pen. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, does somebody else want to share their screen? Maria. And yeah, Shady Vortex. I don't know what your name is, but yeah, squares are fine. Maria, do you want to share your screen?
Sure. Wait, hold up. This is the wrong one.
Whoa, that is cool. I like the little like pattern that it's making in the middle too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
that looks really cool.
Can I share mine?
Yeah, sure. And then Shady
After
Vortex, you can share yours too. Yeah, Kareem?
after those two, can I show you like how far it's went so far?
Yeah.
Like
But
what
let's
it's made.
see those two first. So Yusuf,
Yeah.
if you want to share your screen, you can share it now. Whoa. That is really cool. So, one thing, Yusuf, that you could have, it doesn't really matter, but if you wanted to make your code a little smaller, inside that loop where it says repeat for 36, you could have put another loop just repeating that drive forward by 400 and turn left by 90, because that part repeats a few times.
Yeah, I could have done that.
Yeah, but it's still pretty cool.
So it basically ends up with like this circle thing.
Yeah, with made out of squares, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wow,
Wait,
these
so
are
yeah,
really cool.
you saw what it looked like when it was finished.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
Does anybody else want to share theirs?
Shady Vortex says his isn't fully done actually.
Okay, so then Kareem, do you want to share yours and just show us what you have so far?
Sure. Sure.
And by the way, you guys can use different colors. It doesn't have to be all black. And if you want, you could have different parts of it in different colors. Whoa,
Yeah,
that's a
this
like proper spiral.
yeah, yeah, that's how I
It's the same as mine.
Yeah.
Except the circle inside is a bit smaller.
It's a little
Mine?
different.
No, I used like petals, like flower
Yeah, so
petals.
instead of squares, you use petals, but it is similar. Well, if you just stare at the middle of it,
Yeah,
like a
it
little
looks
illusion. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Does anybody else want to share theirs? Okay, I'm gonna call on someone who hasn't talked in the past 2 days because I want to see if you guys are actually there or not. Morgan, are you there? Yeah. Are you almost done? You're done. Do you want to share your screen? You don't need to. I'm just asking. No? Okay, that's okay. Anyone else? Aisha, do you want to share your screen? You're almost done? Okay, so when you're done, if you want to share your screen, you can share it. Anyone else? You guys can volunteer too. Okay. So I guess we'll wait maybe like 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes, and then at 3:30 we'll move on to the next challenge. So while we're waiting, so the people who are done, you guys can either like add some cool stuff to your spirals, or you can think about a question that I'm going to give to you. Think about what a sensor is and try to describe it in like around 10 words. Okay, and then you guys can describe it when we move on to the next challenge. So 2 more minutes for everyone else. You're done? Rueda, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, and my name is actually Ayman.
Sorry, what is it?
Ayman.
Okay, Iman, do you want to share your screen?
Sure, one second. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Whoa. You did it a little differently than everyone else. That's cool.
Yeah, I watched it till like for 5 minutes and like it ended up looking good. So.
Yeah. Whoa.
I have a
You guys
question.
are, yeah.
How do you make your thing start in the middle? Cause so I have to put code because I can see in Iman's code there is no drive forward like so before before the pen is down
Yeah.
there's no code. So how would you put it in the
So
middle?
I don't know what playground you're in right now, but there's a playground called Art Canvas that automatically starts in the middle. So I think you're in the grid map canvas right now, right?
Ah, okay. I was in the
Okay.
grid map. Okay.
Yeah.
I changed up my code a bit. I wanna show you guys it.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see if it's gonna work. One
Okay.
sec. It's gonna
So
take.
Kareem, you can show it, and then afterwards, Aisha, if you want to show it, you can show it too. And then that is it. Then we'll move on to the next challenge.
Yeah, it's let me just play it one more time and see if it's gonna work. Yeah, it works. So let me just share it
Okay,
now.
so you can just share it.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
Yeah. Oh, you use different colors. That's cool.
Yeah. I switched the colors. Oh.
Well, that is cool.
Yeah.
I like the colors, the blue and the red.
Yeah. They're my favorite colors. Blue first,
Yeah.
then second red.
Hmm. Okay.
And it keeps on playing like that, and then the circle's like here.
That is cool. Okay. Does anybody else want to share their screen? And if not, that's okay too.
I could.
Okay. So you can share your screen and then we'll move on.
Okay. So mine's in the middle, so like, cause I don't want to go through the entire process, so so it's loading.
Okay. Aisha, you don't need to go if you don't want to. That's okay.
It's very laggy.
That's okay.
Is it extremely laggy? Cause for me, I can barely see it. Like it's barely moving.
It's a little bit laggy, but that's okay. Whoa, that is really, really cool. I like the circles. It's like there's a little flower in the middle.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So I think now we will move on, but everyone did a really, really good job with this.
Can I show
So-
mine? I have a similar one to the one that was just shown.
Yeah. Really, really quickly.
Okay.
Are you sharing your screen, Ivan? Yeah, okay. Whoa. Yeah, it's similar, but the circle inside it is a little bigger, which I like. Yeah, that's really cool. So now we are going to move on to the next part, which is, so today is going to be all about learning what sensors are and using sensors in our program. So I'm going to share my screen and then we can start. So first of all, does anybody know what a sensor is?
So basically, a sensor is kind of like, so basically, if so I remember, so I know in Scratch that, so basically, it's like a color. So if touches color blue, then moves something or something like that. That's what a sensor is.
Okay, so there's different types of sensors. Basically, a sensor lets you take data in one form and use it in your program. So there's different types of data that you can use, and therefore there are different sensors. So the sensors that we are going to use today are the electromagnet sensor, the light sensor, which is also called an eye sensor, and we may, depending on the time, we'll use the bumper sensor. So first, let's start with the first sensor that we're going to use. So there's this sensor called the magnet or the electromagnet sensor. Basically, it allows you to have this little magnet inside of your robot that can turn on and turn off whenever you want. So that can allow you to pick up different things around you. So today we're going to use it to pick up little discs. So let me just show you, give you an example. So I'm going to change my playground to disk mover, not just transport, sorry. So in disk mover, this is the challenge that we're going to do today. And I'm just going to quickly show you how it works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drive forward for a set amount. So I want to go to that little blue circle over here. So does anybody want to tell me how far I need to drive forward to get to that blue circle?
800 block or
800 millimeters.
Yeah, so I'm going to change this to 800 millimeters. And then I'm going to use my magnet over here and I'm going to energize it to boost. So what that means is that the magnet will turn on and whatever is underneath it, it'll pick it up. Okay, so let's just try this out. So I'm going to drive forward for 800. I'm going to pick this magnet up and then now I want to bring it back to my little blue box. So what commands do I have to use to move backwards into that little box?
Reverse.
You just drive, you pick the drive forward for 200.
Yeah.
Change it to 800 and you make the forward to reverse.
Yeah, so drive reverse for 800. So let's retry that. So I'm going to drive forward for 800, pick up my little disc, and then you can see now I'm moving with that blue disc. And now if I want to drop it, all I'm going to do is grab that energized magnet to boost. And instead of boost, I'm going to click on boost and change it to drop. So that'll just drop your magnet and then you can go and pick up your next magnet. Okay? So now the challenge for today, give me 1 second. So the first challenge, there's going to be different types of challenges. The first challenge is to pick up all of these 3 blue dots and drop them off in your square. But the challenge is that you can only pick up 1 circle at a time. It won't let you pick up more than 1. So this is what it should look like. So it picks up 1, drops off 1, picks up the other, drops it off, and then picks up the last one and drops it off. And it can be anywhere in that square. It just has to be inside the square. Yep.
Is there any way to like make the magnet drop off at different locations so it doesn't overlap?
So you just have to change how far you drive in reverse then, right? So instead of 800, you can do 805 or 810 just to like kind of level them out. All right.
Okay.
But you don't need to if you don't want to. That's just an optional thing. Okay. So you guys have maybe the next 15 minutes to work on this challenge. And then once you guys have this, there's a harder challenge that we'll do in the same playground. Right? So 10, 15 minutes. And if you're done, just say that you're done inside the chat. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, how do you drop the magnet? I'll show you guys again just so that you can learn, I guess. So let me just share my screen. So let's say we want to pick up that first block. So I have this first part where I go to drive up to it, I pick it up, right? And then you come back, and then when you're there, you're going to use the same block energized magnet to boost. Just click on boost and change it to drop. So click on boost, change it to drop. And then it should drop off that little puck. Everyone understands the challenge, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm done.
You're done the entire thing?
Yeah, like, wait, did we have to do like the red and the green?
No, just the blue, just the blue.
Yeah, okay, then I'm done.
Oh,
Okay,
I did all of them. Sorry.
okay, so yeah, that's okay. Arush, you can do all of them now, okay?
Okay.
But drop them off in the corresponding box.
I finished all of them, and
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so I think everyone's done now. So now we're gonna move on to the next part. So here, let me share my screen. So for the next part, I want you to pick up all three of all of the corresponding colors and drop it in the corresponding box. So Swastik, do you want to share your screen so we can see what to do?
yep.
Okay, so it's basically that for every color, but you don't have to start at like the top one. You can start from the bottom one. Okay, does everyone
Yeah,
understand this?
yeah, that was the original idea, but then you said we can't pick up several at a time, and we literally couldn't. So I just randomly started from the top or bottom. So
Okay, that's okay. So everyone can work on this, and then Swastik, there's a little harder challenge that you can try to do. It's
the
not
other
like
disc
that
one,
hard. Sorry.
the other disc format, that was it.
Um, yeah. So there's something called, you can change the playground to disk transport, and over there all the disks are like scattered around in different positions, and you just have to drop them all of them off in their corresponding boxes.
Okay.
Okay. So for everyone else, you guys are working on the disc mover challenge, and you're trying to do all three of them. Okay. Does everyone understand that?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
I finished.
All three of them?
Yeah, all three.
Okay. You can do the disc transport challenge. So let
The
me
disc
show that to you.
transport challenge.
Yeah. So here, I'll show that to you. Okay. So basically, it's a different playground. So instead of disc mover, you just click on that and change it to transport, and then let it load. The challenge is to get all the corresponding discs into the corresponding box. So, but they're all scattered around in different places. Okay? Green?
Okay, sorry, I was muted. You can't touch the thing in the middle, can you? You can't.
No.
Right?
Try not to touch it. I think it restarts the program if you touch it. I'm not sure.
And the gate outside of it.
Yeah, so you don't want to touch the gate, and you don't want to touch this little like
Okay.
building over here.
Okay.
Okay, so does anybody else need help? Or is anyone else done?
I'm done the one that you have to drop all three.
Okay, so just wait like a few minutes, and then we'll move on to the next challenge.
Wait, what challenge? Like I'm done the
Just,
challenge.
yeah, so just wait. So wait 2 minutes, and then we'll move on. Okay. Okay. So everyone, will just wait until 3:48, and then we'll move on. And while you're waiting, you guys can like explore different commands and stuff. Okay, so we'll wait one more minute and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so I think mostly everyone is done, so let's do the next thing. Okay, so this was the electromagnet sensor. Now we're going to learn about a new sensor that's a little tougher to use. So our next sensor is the eye sensor, or the color sensor, or the line sensor. So what this does is basically detect different colors on your screen. And on a robot, there's more than one sensor. There's more than one eye sensor. So there's the front eye and there's the down eye. For this challenge, we're only going to be using the down eye. So remember, whenever you're programming, to just change it from front eye to down eye. All right? So for this challenge, we are going to make an algorithm that allows us to navigate throughout this whole maze and get to this little red block. But here's the little challenge. You need to be able to make your own algorithm that allows you to follow a pattern over and over again. So what I mean by that is, here, let me show you an example. Okay, so this is what the challenge should look like. So for every green block that you see, it should do the same thing. And then for every blue block you see, it should do the same thing. All right? So we're going to program the first part together, and then I'll let you guys move on. So we're now going to first drive up to that green block. But instead of putting a drive for 200 millimeters or 400 millimeters, we're going to do it a little differently. So we are going to use the first block, which is drive forward. Sorry, one second. So we are going to use the first block that says drive forward, and then we are going to use where is it? We're going to use the repeat until block. So we're going to repeat driving until we see that green block. So to add that part where it says green block, we are going to go to our sensor section, and then we're going to see where it says down eye detects red. We're going to drag that over here. Make sure that it's under down eye, and instead of red, you're going to choose green. So I'm going to click on green. So what it should do, it should drive forward until it sees the green block. So let's try out this program. All right. So now you're going to code the next part of the challenge, which is to find the blue block. So you're going to turn some amount of degrees and go to the blue block. So what I want you to do is hit every single one of these blocks, and then the final block will be the red block. All right, does everyone understand the challenge? If you don't understand it, just say something so that I can help you out. This is the first part of the challenge. Everyone okay? Understood?
Yep, understood.
Yeah.
Okay. And everyone understands the sensor, right? So just make sure that it's
Yo,
down eye.
Here?
Sorry?
Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad.
Okay. So just make sure that it's the down eye and it's at the right color. And we're using the repeat until block.
Um. Uh. For repeat until it detects green. Um. So after it detects green, how does it turn right? like how did it turn right after it detected green?
Okay, here, I'll show you how to code that part. Let me just share my screen.
Okay.
So we have the first part, which says drive until you see green, right? We have that. So let me show you how that works. It'll stop at green. Then we're gonna add, I don't know, the turn right for 90 degrees. And we're gonna put that outside of our repeat until. So
Yeah.
now when it does the program, it should drive until it sees the green block and then turn right. Right? Now we're gonna drive forward until we see the blue block, right? And then we're gonna turn either right or left to get to the next block.
Okay.
All right?
I thought it was this random code because every time it hit green, it would turn right, and every time it hit blue, it would turn left.
So that's the next part where it'll follow a pattern. So every time it hits green, it does something. Every time it hits blue, it does
Okay.
something.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
So right now we're just supposed to hit the green and turn 90 degrees and then just hit the blue and turn left, for example.
Yeah, but you want to navigate all throughout this like little puzzle. Okay? Hannah, do you understand the task? Okay, let me share my screen and I'll explain it again. Okay, sorry. So, Hannah, we're using a new sensor, which is called the down eye light sensor. So, to get to that sensor, we're going to go to the sensing block area, and you should see this thing that says eye sensing. So this is all about color sensors. So it basically allows you to detect different colors on your screen. We're going to be using the second one, which says down eye detects red. Now what we want to do is we want to drive from this starting point to the green block, but we can't put in a set amount of like millimeters. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to go to control, which is the orange section, and we're going to use this repeat until block. So what do you think we want to repeat?
Going forward?
Yeah, so driving forward. So inside the repeat until block, we're going to put in drive forward. Not for a set amount, but just drive forward. And what do you think we want to drive forward until?
The down eye detects green.
Yeah, so in this repeat until block, we're going to put down eye detects green. So that should get you from here to the green block. Let's try that out. So yeah, it got you to your green block. Now we're going to want to go to the next block, which is the blue block, right? So what do you think we'll have to do to get there?
Turn right.
Yeah, so we'll have to
And then
turn
go
right
forward.
and then yeah, use the same command but for blue, right?
Yep, I finished it.
You're done? Do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
Okay, good job. Just one thing that's not really about this, but do you know how to delete code?
I just used backspace or just dragged it out.
Yeah, so you have a lot of code on the side. I don't
Oh
know if you
yeah,
want to get rid of that,
I'm gonna
but
put those in separate things and then save them later because they're from previous projects.
okay, yeah. Okay, so for the next part, let me just share my screen. Okay, do you know what an algorithm is, Swastik?
It's a series of code that repeats. I'm assuming like
Yeah, so it repeats in a certain pattern. So now instead of having like code back to back, I want you to try and make a certain set of commands that every time it sees a green block, it'll do something, and every time it sees a blue block, it'll do something. So,
Okay.
do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is everyone else okay? Ivan, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna share my screen and I'll give you. Actually, do you want to share your screen so we can see how you did it?
Sure.
Okay.
So
Okay. Good job, Ivan. So the next part of the challenge is a little different. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so this is for everyone who's done this first challenge. Let me share the next challenge. Sorry. Sorry, wait, let me get to sorry, 1 second. Okay. So the next part of the challenge is sorry, I'm just not finding the playground for this. Does anybody know what the playground is called? Oh, here, found it. Never mind. Okay. So the next part of the challenge is that I want you to create an algorithm, which is a rule, like a set of rules and patterns, so that it's a smaller amount of code. So basically, what you're going to do is that every time it sees a green block, it'll do something, and every time it sees a blue block, it'll do something. So for example, when you get to your green block, instead of having to say turn left each time, you'll just say, when you see a green block, turn left once. Do you get what I mean? Sorry, I'm trying to explain it to you guys without showing you any of my code,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if you're
I
understanding it.
understand. I
Okay,
understand.
Ivan,
So
do you understand?
it just
yeah, so it's basically like when you see a green, you do something. When you see a blue, you do something, and then that's it.
Yeah, and then when you see a red one, you're also
For
gonna
red,
do
you
something.
stop.
Sorry?
And when you see a red, you stop.
Yeah. All right. Aisha, did you see my screen when I was explaining it to them? Yeah. Do you get it? Yes. Okay.
I'm having some problems with my code.
You can share your screen and then we can look at it together.
Okay, one second. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So, so like when I code it, then
So are you trying to do the hard version of the challenge?
I'm trying to like do the one that where you have to get to the red block.
Yeah. So okay. So the first challenge is that you don't need to have any type of algorithm or any set of patterns, right? But the way that you've designed your code, there are like several different patterns. Do you know what I mean?
So like I shouldn't have these repeat until thing.
Yeah, you shouldn't have that in that order. So okay, get rid of the last one. Yeah. Okay, so let's walk through it together. So the first one is you drive them forward until you see the green block, right? That works.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're gonna turn right for 90 degrees, which is good. Then you're gonna drive forward until you see the blue block, which is good. Then you're gonna turn left for 90 degrees. Now, what do you think the next thing is that you want to do?
Drive forward.
Yep. Until you see what though?
Until you see the red.
The red? No. So remember, we want to go in that pattern where you hit all of the blocks. So the next block that I would go to is that blue block that's on the top.
Oh, okay. So then drive forward until you see the
Blue block, and then turn left, right? And then just get through the end of the maze.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Does anyone have any more questions? Shady Vortex, are you done? Okay, I'm gonna assume that you're not done then. Arush, what challenge do you not understand?
The one where you have to do an algorithm.
Oh, okay. So let me show my screen. So there's different ways to actually do that, but I'll show you how I would do it. So the way I would do it is I would use a different type of block that we haven't used yet. So the first thing I would do is that I would put my drive forward block. Then I would use the forever loop, right? And then inside that loop, I would have these three if then blocks. So what that means is that if something happens, so if something is true, then it'll do whatever's inside that little space. And if it's not true, then I'll move on to the next one. So the first one would say, if I see green, then turn right. Because for all the green ones, you want to turn right, right? So if you look at how the robot drives, for the first one, for the first green one, you have to turn right. For the second green one, you're going to end up turning right too. And for the last green one, you're going to end up turning right. So whenever I see green, turn right. Then whenever I see blue, you're going to do something because all the blue ones follow the same thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So if you need help, just let me know.
Um, I know how to do the if down eye detects green, turn right or something
Yeah?
like that, but I don't know how to do the part where I don't know how to do the part where like to make the code smaller, like the forever part. I don't understand that part.
Okay. So I'm going to show how I've done this challenge because I think everyone's done like at least the easy one or the hard one. So I'm going to show how I did it and then I'm going to ask someone else to show me how they did it. So if you're still stuck, I'll show you guys how I did it. Let me share. Okay. So it's not too hard. You just need to really like understand the blocks. So let me just finish it. 1 second. Okay. So the way it works is that you want to always be driving forward no matter what until you see that red block. So now we know that whenever we see the green blocks, we want to turn left, right? So in every green situation, we're turning left. So over here, we turn left, over here, we turn left, and over here, we turn left, right? And for every blue block, we're going to turn right. So over here, we end up turning right and moving up this way. We turn right over here, we turn right over here. And that applies for all of them, right? And then whenever we see the red block, we want to stop driving. So let's try out the code. And the reason we have this forever block is that we want it to keep on going on forever until until the sensor sees the red block. Yeah. So works like this. Sorry. So it's actually not going to stop at the red block. We want to add something else. So we want to stop driving, then we want to stop the project. So I don't know if they'll show it in this one, but yeah, so it stops the project and it stops driving at the red block. All right. Do you
Okay.
understand that? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
Did
Uh,
anyone
uh,
else do it in a yeah?
for can I share my screen for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I tried doing the same code as you, but something happened. Can you see my mouse?
Yep.
Uh, uh so, when I go, when it hits this block, it's it just not get it doesn't stop moving.
I'm not sure why it's doing that because you're right. You have the same code as mine.
Maybe it's because of the velocity. And
It shouldn't be, but yeah, try without the velocity. Sometimes the XVR can get a little weird, so you may just have to reload your browser. Yeah, see now it's okay. So maybe it is the velocity thing, but it shouldn't be that. But
It's not
yeah,
the velocity because I also did the exact same code that you
yeah.
did.
So
And I also have the velocity at 100, and it works.
yeah. So sometimes XVR can be a little like strange and it can stop working. So the best thing that you can do in that situation is either open up a new tab of XVR or reload your tab.
oh, okay.
Okay?
I'll
But
keep that in
it
mind.
seems fine, so it's okay.
Okay.
Did anyone else do it in a different way than how I did it or how Green did it?
I think I did it in a different way. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, so you can share your screen. Green, do you want to stop sharing your screen? Okay. So this was the other way to do it. This works. I don't know if you need that last block though. Here, I did it that way too for one of my codes. All right, good job, Swastik. So that was a different way to do it. He used a different block, which is called the wild block. Okay.
Yeah, I was using
Did
the green ones. I was just looking at those.
Yeah. Did anybody else do it in a different way?
I used the same code as you, but like it's not working for me. Can I share my screen?
Do you want to share your screen? Yeah.
Is it the same problem I had?
Maybe. Let's see. Maybe there could be something wrong in his code.
Yeah, like when I start it, so it goes fine for like a bit, but then when it reaches this, no, not this one. One sec.
Yeah, that happened with me as well. It just randomly it can keep
Oh, wait,
spinning.
never mind then. Never mind.
Okay,
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay,
because
so here, let me explain it to you. So the times that it doesn't work, there is something wrong happening, not in your program, but in the XVR. Can you guys see the screen?
yeah.
Okay. So if you look over here where it says rotation, sometimes because of reasons that I don't know, the XVR can sometimes glitch and the rotation can change. And if it changes just by 2 degrees or 1 degree, the sensor can like stop seeing your color. All right. There's nothing that you can do about it, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Okay. Did anybody else do it in a different way? No, yes, yes, no. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the last challenge. We had another thing planned, but I guess we could do that tomorrow. Yeah, so we were gonna use the bumper sensor and we were gonna do a maze, but we can do that in the beginning of tomorrow, and then tomorrow is the last day of virtual robotics, but not the last day of the camp. So tomorrow we're gonna do like a little like really hard challenges, and I'm gonna do my best not to help you guys too much, but they're gonna be around making algorithms like this. All right, and you're gonna be using different sensors and stuff. And tomorrow we'll also talk a little bit about Python. Okay. So does anybody have any questions or anything? No questions. I would say we could start our last challenge, but I don't think 10 minutes is enough for it. Okay.
I have a question for the saving thing. So, you told us how to save. So basically, file and then save to your device, right?
Yeah.
So when I click file and save to my device, so then I go to folders, And then when I try opening it, it just goes, how do you want to open this file?
Oh,
So then I
okay.
say,
Yeah. So it's a little weird the way that you have to open it. Here, let me show you on screen. So I've already saved some files, so I'll show you how I open it. So to open your thing again, you have to go back on VexVR on the online like website. Then you go to File, then you click on Load from your device. And then you can choose any of the programs that you've saved and just upload it to the VexVR. So I'm gonna upload here the basketball drills thing that we did yesterday. And it should upload the entire code and the map too.
oh,
All right?
okay. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any more questions? No more questions. Nobody has any comments that they want to say. Do you guys want to? How about you guys rate the class out of 5 and just put it in the chat? That's like,
Wait, can you repeat what you said? Because like my volume died.
yeah. So you're just gonna rate how the class has been so far out of 5. So you can rate like 1 out of 5 if you want, and just put that in the chat. And you guys can be completely honest about it. Okay. So do you guys like the class so far? Yeah. Okay. Ariana, why did you rate it 2 out of 5? Okay. So that's okay. For tomorrow, if you need help with something, you just need to ask me and say something in the chat, and then I can help you, and we can go over whatever is confusing you. Okay. And then Morgan, you find the class very easy. So the reason that it's kind of like in the middle. It's sometimes it can be easy for some people, sometimes it can be hard for some people. But since we have like 20 kids, it's kind of hard to make sure that everyone's at the same level. Hannah, why did you rate it 3.5 out of 5? Oh, it was interesting? Okay. 10 out of 5. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's class. I think you guys can start to go. And then tomorrow, remember, we're going to do some big projects that will be fun, I think. But yeah, so you guys can start to leave now. I hope you had a fun day. So goodbye. Okay, so how do you guys think the class went today?
I think it was good.
You want me to keep my camera on? Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm okay. It's kind of weird though if I'm the only one with my camera on.
Then you should like request to the other.
Yeah, I feel bad. Well, my teacher doesn't do that anymore because nobody turns their cameras on.
True.
Oh, okay.
Did you go over like Python at the end? Sort of missed the end.
So at the end, I was gonna say tomorrow we are going to do some Python stuff, and we're gonna do some like big projects. I was gonna do it at the end, but some people were like really confused about the last project,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to rush into anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay,
So
that
do
was
you think it
good.
was an okay class? Yeah. Okay.